are live.
The night will follow you.
Get it. Let's go. Come on. 6 a.m. Me.
Follow you.
So,
Follow me. The night will follow you.
what the fuck? Come on, man. This is ridiculous. That's crazy. Cause niggas be paying for this kind of shit. For to be doing this, it's crazy for me, man. I think they sabotage. Anybody know what sabotage mean? I think they sabotage. Let's get into this.
May hold InfoWars.
Now if you follow me, I will follow you too.
Yeah.
Now if you follow me, then I will follow you.
Today,
for trying to flee and for
You follow me,
in the face like that after she drops her kid off at school.
then I will follow you too. Now if you follow me,
I'm
then I will follow
to face these guys.
you.
No way. I got shot with a pepper ball 5 minutes after walking in here. I never laid a finger on them. I never raised.
I think he's a liar.
Whatever the future may hold, InfoWars will always live forever. The fight.
Now if you follow me,
Alex JN Live. And now you can download.
I will follow
Go
you too.
and let the Democrat
If you follow me,
silence.
InfoWars. Tomorrow's news today.
And we got
with no
you.
cause
It's your boy Brando.
and murdering people, obeying a command to leave the area, and then shooting her in the face like that after she drops her kid off at school. We have to show up with guns. We have to. There's no other way around it. I don't care if I don't have a Minnesota carry permit. I'm unarmed right now, but this is the last time I show up to face these guys without a
which
weapon.
means he's willing to go ahead and break
There's
the
no
law
way.
for the immigrants too.
I
So
got
let's
shot
get
with a
it.
pepper ball
Give them a
5
round of
minutes after
applause.
walking in here. I never laid a finger on them. I never raised a hand to them. I've only been using my voice. The time for speaking is over.
This man said he only
the time
been
for
there
niceties is over.
for 5 seconds before they hit him in the face with a paintball. That's what you get.
The time for peace is over. They fired the first shot. It is time to end this by any means necessary.
Any means necessary.
I mean, you're talking about, potentially going to a dark place in this country. Do you foresee?
You don't care. You don't care.
This is the dark place. This is the dark time. We had people being sent to Salvadorian concentration camps. We got other countries being raided for their oil. We're in the dark time. There's no way out of this. There's no voting our way out of this. We can't wait till November.
now that you know that your boy the ATM Brando knows. Let's go.
That's the only way. If there was another way, I'd be advocating for it. I've spoken peacefully. I've marched peacefully. I marched without Sharpton. I marched on Washington. I've been peaceful. I've acted peacefully. The time for peace is over. The time for any means.
We looked this guy up. He's a professional agitator. And that's the big news is they got their professionals out calling for this everywhere.
Show up with guns to face you guys.
Walk wifey to the bus and all that, yeah.
America.
Take your mask off.
This is done. We're done. You're f***ing murderers. You shot a woman in a wheelchair.
Mask off, bitch boy.
We need to come back with f***ing weapons. Go to the gun store, get a gun, learn how to use it. F***ing face you guys, man to man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. We've got this guy's identity and his background. He's a Democrat Party NGO operative and who pops up with different narratives around the country at key points. And I started noticing about 3 days ago in New York, in Washington State, in Oregon, everywhere, you are seeing these exact talking points where they lie about what ICE is doing and then legitimize the fact that they're going to be violent because ICE is illegal and ICE isn't real and ICE is committing crimes and ICE is killing innocent people after all their violence and all their attacks on ICE. And the National Guard getting killed and all the rest of it. And all the ICE facilities getting shot up and the Border Patrol being killed. They finally have this lady driving her car around, blocking him, doing all of it, spinning out, running into him. And still, even Trump yesterday on Air Force One's like, well, you see in the video where she runs into him and you hear the big boom. I believe he was hit. No one at the White House have I seen show the multiple camera angles from the front of him bouncing off the front of the damn car. It just, I pulled my hair out. We had that before the show was over last week when it happened. Was it Wednesday? Before the broadcast was over. We had the Ring camera footage, and the local news reported it. Case closed. I noticed that ICE put it out a couple days later. We cannot be this far behind the curve, folks. It's unbelievable. Instead, we've got Jen Psaki and all of them still. They did it again yesterday, showing footage from behind the car saying, oh, they claim she hit him, but there's no proof. They're damn liars. This is a big deal because they're trying to trigger a national uprising with it. We'll get to this and a lot more. Massive developments on so many fronts. Straight ahead, I'm your host, Alex Jones. Share the live feeds now. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. I've had laryngitis the last few days, but I'm not contagious. My voice isn't having any pain. But I appreciate everybody putting up with the fact that I've basically lost my voice. It's come back a little bit today. It was almost completely gone yesterday. And if I would just rested today, it would obviously have been better by tomorrow. But the history is too important. The news is too powerful. It's not that Harrison wouldn't have done an excellent job. If he hosted today, I called him about midnight last night and said, my voice is gone. Will you host? He said, yes. When I woke up this morning, after about 3 hours of sleep, and just my voice had come back some, and I just texted him and said, no, go ahead and do the war room. And he'll knock it out of the park at 3 p.m. Central today. Harrison's always done a great job in his 9 years here, but, man, he's really, really knocking it out of the park now. Very, very proud of the work he's doing. And, of course, Brianna Morello as well, absolutely nailing it. Okay, so, and the rest of the crew. I always say, here's what's coming up, and then the first thing I cover, I start getting into. It's just how I am. But we are going into Iran. Trump is going to strike them bare minimum. There are covert forces on the ground there. This is a real national uprising. The mullahs in internal polls are about 80% negative. I support regime change, but by the people, not by us. Obviously, Israel's got factions it's backing. The son of the Shah and all the rest of it. In the studies of the different factions in Iran, the majority do not want a mullah or a king. And I think that makes sense. And so I really don't like regime change because we'll just swap out one tyranny with another. Strangely enough, Rudolph Giuliani over the weekend posted on X the history that the CIA overthrew Iran in 1953, a pro-American leader, but he wanted to keep some of the oil money, half of it for the people, Mohammed Mossadegh, Operation Ajax. And then he went on to point out that we installed the Shah, who was very, very oppressive with the Savak, and never really gave them a chance to be a free country. And he said that, he's happy to see what's happening over there, but he really doesn't think we should be involved in picking who's going to be in control. And people said, wow, based Giuliani. Absolutely. So that's my view on this. Yes, I in theory support removing the mullahs, who are absolute dictators and just horrible people, and execute people, who peacefully demonstrate. They've already handed out a bunch of death sentences to people they caught protesting peacefully. That said, the CIA and MI6 are on record. It was declassified in the early 90s. Herman Roosevelt, the grandson of Teddy Roosevelt, ran the operation. And look what it led to later. And the CIA was also involved because they didn't like Jimmy Carter, who I didn't like either. But the point is, setting him up with the whole hostage thing in 1979. And then as soon as Reagan gets in, they turn him loose. I mean, it's you got a lot of footsie going on here. So regardless of that analysis, we'll get into it coming up. Trump does what he says he's going to do when he's in control. When he's in control of a policy on trade or the border, when he's in control of something, withholding federal funds from states that, put men and women's sports, he never falters. He never wavers. Sometimes the courts try to block him. Almost always he overturns it because he's in the right. They check with constitutional lawyers first. But when Trump has the power to do something and he says he's going to do it, he does it. So oil spikes after Trump urges Iranians to keep protesting, says help is on the way. And I got a bunch of news on that front. But the fact that he says keep fighting, helps on the way, you better believe it's already there. Iranian patriots, he said on Truth Social, put it back up, thanks. Iranian patriots, keep protesting, take over your institutions, save the names of the killers and the abusers. They will pay a big price. I have canceled all meetings with Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. Help is on its way. Make Iran great again. MIGA. President Donald Trump. And I would imagine, though I don't have any internal baseball, though I just have general understanding of it all, so that is the ultimate intel. A lot of the left made jokes about secret weapons being used in Venezuela. And I just want them to know something. Trump tried to get the Pentagon, when he first got in 9 years ago, to even fully brief him on everything they had, but most of it was held up in these other black budget projects and in DARPA, so most of the Pentagon didn't even know. He has successfully broken through the wall into the weapons they've got. That's why his science czar said we now control time and space. Now, that's not in general been deployed down into the boots on the ground level, Delta Force, things like that. So when the media spun it that, our most elite systems we have is boots on the ground, I would say the toughest guys we've got, the most trained humans we've got, the best humans we've got, would be a test pilot or an astronaut or a Delta Force person, for the commitment, the focus, the training, the will, the control. But no, the really nasty stuff's robot, folks. It's drone, it's satellite, it's computer. And I can tell you that what I know we've got is at least 30-year-old technology from my sources, and this was all deathbed stuff. NASA, Space Command was the secret name of it even before it was known. The United States has weapons that, the ones I know of, and that's like generations back, okay, that it's just unbelievable. Now, here's the problem. The Russians have got a whole bunch of other exotic stuff as well. A lot of it's similar. The question is, have they used it? Is it deployable? The Chi-Coms have developed a bunch of stuff. So at a certain point, the only way to win this game is not to play, okay? But my point is you're going to have decapitation weapons. And the stuff they had in orbit by the late 70s, it's all been replaced. Even more high-tech stuff, obviously, is just weapons platforms that drop DU, Sabo missiles using a meteor gun telemetry technology up to 35,000 mile an hour. And when you fire, say on average, 100-pound DU Sabo into a bunker, it'll kill people a mile and a half under it. As a kinetic force of a tactical nuclear weapon. And if you're watching what Trump's been doing and some of the things they've got in the reports out of Venezuela, they were using some of the more, let's just say, less destructive stuff. And you could say Venezuela was a laboratory of real-world use of that. But let me explain something to you. They've got drones now, loaded with neutron bombs, but little ones, where a drone just flies over, drops a neutron bomb, and it kills everybody in 3 square miles. Or you can drop a smaller one, kills everybody in a square mile. And there's nothing there. The person just gets hit, kind of gets nauseous, starts bleeding out the nose, falls down and dies. And that's old technology. That's 60s technology. But now they've miniaturized it, deployed it. I mean, it just goes on from there. So they've got the people flying the things don't even know. They've got the C-130s up there with all this equipment hanging out the bottom. They don't even tell them what it is. They just say, you aim it, you do this, the computer takes over. And they can just do whatever they want. I mean, it goes from insane to absolutely over the top crazy. So the left's making jokes about, oh yeah, Trump says we got secret weapons. Yeah, you better believe we do. Yeah, when Trump says we got the most powerful weapons in the world. So, see, I said I'm just going to mention the stories. I went into one, started covering it. It's impossible for me to do it. So, we got that. We've got what's happening in the economy. We've got Trump saying we're screwed if Supreme Court overturns his tariffs. He explains why. I totally agree with him. If the Supreme Court does that, they're betting directly against America and against the law. But who knows? I just can't see them doing it, though. It'll be so destructive, and they'll hold the bag. Also, DOJ fires attorney after they declined to prosecute Comey following secret meetings with federal judges. We've got Scott Adams dead at 68. Some of the things he said before he died. Also, it's in the Federal Register that they're spending a bunch of money. This was a hangover from a Biden for electromagnetic mind control systems through 5G for behavioral modification. I actually saw that last Friday in the news, didn't cover it. I'm going to get to it today. Pretty amazing. Just mainstream news. Oh, yeah, the Pentagon's working with such and such. And people say, oh, wait, now the Pentagon's bad? It's elements of everything. It's like, you work at a factory, and there's 2,000 people that work there. Some are good, some are bad. Some are in this group, some are in that group. We're here to reform the institutions. We're here to fix them. But yes, remember all the stuff that came out via Doge? All that Pentagon money and CIA money to, quote, run widespread disinformation operations against the American people. That's lying to you. So that's just some of what's coming up. Start your engines. When we come back after this quick break, I am going to go directly into just the latest small sampling. Believe me, there's a lot more than just this. Of many of them professional agitators versus the minions. You can tell them apart. You can look them up. Oh, that's a professional. Oh, yep, they are. putting out lies, legitimizing the murder of ICE and national uprisings. And the difference is this level of pushing that the Democrats are engaged in is 20 times anything I've ever seen before. Their calls for violence in 2020 were easily 20 times less than this. I mean, it is direct. ICE is criminal. They're illegitimate. They're murderers. They're Nazis. They're kidnapping U.S. citizens. None of that's true. They're doing all these brutal things. They're disappearing people. They're hunting us down. They deserve to die. Get your guns. It's your right of the Second Amendment to kill them. Do it now. Now's the time. Hurry up. Yes, what they're doing is illegal. Yes, we're going to start arresting them. All these police chiefs, all these sheriffs, all these mayors, they know exactly what they're doing. They're saying as authority figures, they're illegitimate, they're criminal, they're doing these horrible things they haven't done, go out and kill them. And they know good and well that the people they send out to do this are the ones that are going to get killed in most cases because they're going up against professionals. And I mean, like the guy that, shot the lady that tried to run him over. Like 10 years combat and then 10 years in ICE. And just 6 months ago almost got killed arresting a hardened child rapist who drug him 300 feet or whatever. And then you're going to send out your Trantifa. And they're going to get their asses handed to them in most cases. Now, there'll be some cases where they open up on ICE guys and kill them or wound them. But, I mean, you saw the mayor 3 weeks ago, Fry. He said, don't come here, ICE, or you're going to die. That was an open threat. But they were, after a year of not being able to get ICE to do anything wrong or kill one of their agitators, they were kind of giving up on, ICE is going to kill our protesters. So then they went to straight threats, not just in Minnesota, but others who were threatening, you're going to die, you're going to die. And I love that when they threaten ICE or tell them, shame on you or you're scum, you're Nazis, they just shake their heads at them and do their job because they know the law. They know they're putting their life on the line. They know what they signed up for. They know they're being doxxed. They know they're being harassed. They know they're following the law. And they've committed to do this because they understand it has to be done to save the country. And they are David fighting Goliath. And so you can only admire them. They're the opposite of Gestapo. They're the opposite of cowards. They're heroes. Finally doing constitutional duty, finally giving men and women a job that's constitutional. And you notice all hell's breaking loose because they're doing it. You see all these videos, they're surrounded 10, 20 to 1 with bottles and bricks bouncing off their heads and bullets going into their vehicles. And the screaming, we're going to kill you, we're going to kill you, long before this woman got killed. We're going to kill you, we're going to kill you, we're going to have to kill you, death, death, death. And finally, one of their minions gets killed. And they are going absolutely ape. But it's not working. The bird ain't flying, the dog ain't hunting, the engine ain't starting. People see right through it. So they're about to double down. Stay with us. Okay, folks wanted this. We did it. It's a limited edition. There's only 2,000 of these. So the big, nice, black a designer case. And it is a World War II trench knife that is updated to the year 2025, now 2026, with the best steel, the design. Life is fiery with its beauty, one of my famous quotes. We asked listeners what they thought. Some listeners like this idea. You got a nice pinup girl, 1950 style girl, wearing an InfoWars shirt, shorts there on the other side. And it's limited edition. It's got the skull crusher. It's got the brass knuckles. It's all murdered out. There's only 2,000 of these. And they fund the operation. Comes with a high-tech scabbard and clip for your belt. Doesn't get more Americana than this. And if stuff collapses and the left's coming to all kill us, we can defensively protect ourselves. This will not lie to you. This will not run out of bullets. This will guard you for true. So I would suggest this is the type of thing that everybody, if there is a total societal collapse, or even a partial one, that you need to be wearing on your side to get the job done to defend yourself and your family so you get home. Because they are going to come for everybody. Get yours now at thealexshowstore.com. Get your battle dagger now. We'll be right back. Get your trench knife now, thealexshowstore.com. So if you remember a few months ago, we saw these Democrat House and Senate members come out and say, don't follow illegal orders. And then people said, well, what are the illegal orders? Well, we're not going to say. But all their surrogates were out saying ICE is illegal. Everything they're doing is illegal. They're not allowed to arrest illegals. They're not allowed to arrest criminals. They're not allowed to deport them with court orders to deport them. And then now all the surrogates, the mayors of all the cities and the governors are out saying it. And you got to get your Second Amendment ready. Public officials are saying, and we're going to arrest ICE when they commit these crimes. And now we've got them shooting mortar fireworks in Minnesota last night at the police and breaking their windows, not just the feds, and breaking into hotels and attacking people. They're escalating everywhere and ramming their vehicles and encircling them, hoping for a provocation. But a lot of these clips we'll play are just the mindless drones agreeing with it. But we have the professionals, like this known Antifa operative, Dinesh Nashov, who's up there saying, form your militias, get ready, go to war. And then this next individual I played earlier, I want to play him again. You track him. He's a Democrat operative who pops up as one of their speakers with key talking points all over the country on other issues as well. So it's the same story over and over and over again. Then we'll go to some of the minions that are susceptible to this brainwashing. And we have women saying, you know, we can dox their children. We can come after the children of ICE agents. We can come after their wives. We can hurt their children. So now we have them saying, let's target their children. So there's no end to how low these people will sink in their communist terror campaign. First they lie and say you're a criminal. They say you're a Nazi. They say you're not following the law. Doesn't matter. We have clips of Obama and Bill Clinton saying the exact things Trump's saying. Doesn't matter. We're following the law. Doesn't matter. Obama had 4 times the deportations of Trump. We always had people going out and deporting people like this, but this is the first time they're being resisted. This is the first time that they're being attacked. And you have all these so-called Democrat Party leaders telling you that these people are criminals and they deserve it. You've got the minions out there all accepting it. All the ICE facilities getting shot up and their vans getting shot up and illegals being carried and the vans getting killed. This is their uprising with their movies like Civil War and one battle after another. And then journalists like Nick Sorter are being surrounded, chased down, windows knocked out, attacked. And I noticed when this happened, the video's, of course, 100% real communists, real leftists doing it. I noticed the left came out and said, oh, this is staged. Nick Sorter hired actors. Yeah. That's why there's all these live streams being chased down the road by him. Oh, yeah. The left's not attacking anybody. Go out there with a MAGA hat, folks. Get on a plane, go to Minnesota, go out to one of these demonstrations. They're going to hit you in the head with a hammer. You'll find out how real it is. So let's go to this Antifa leader, and then we'll go to the next professional, and then some of their minions. Here it is.
We need to find solutions here. Every major city in the U.S., Los Angeles, Portland, Chicago, New York, you need to start setting up left-wing militias to protect your communities. I'm not kidding. This needs to be coordinated. And you guys should all be in touch, too, across cities. We need organized left-wing militias. There are too many right-wing extremist militias putting us all in danger. We need to defend ourselves. We need to have a group of people that stand there, a well-regulated militia that stands there when ICE shows up, because nobody is holding them accountable. The people need to hold them accountable for when they go too far, for when they're not welcome. In fact, let me be honest with you, they're never welcome. They're never welcome. When ICE shows up in your community, a militia should show up right in front of them and tell them to leave. It is your right as an American. Shortly after murdering Renee Good, ICE agents went to a local high school that was on lockdown and assaulted the students when they came out of class. This wouldn't have happened if a militia would have kicked them out of town. Defend yourselves against Trump's personal pedo-racist army. Fight back against ICE. Just because they're federal agents does not mean they get to violate you. They killed all that was good. Let's show them what's left.
People need to show up with guns to face you guys. We got your
time for an armed resistance against the United States of America.
You know, this guy's a professional agitator, works for the NGOs. We looked up his name, all his information.
Murderers. You shot a woman in a wheelchair. We need to come back with weapons. Go to the gun store, get a gun, learn how to use it, and face you guys man to man.
See, I've been fully activated. I'm gonna head back east. We need to go to DC. Shit needs to get done. Here's the thing that I need for protesters and everyone to start realizing, okay? We're at war. The protests are over. There's no more protesting. This is combat now. So when I come onto the field, I'm not screaming at people that are going to assault me or pepper spray me. Like, no, this is combat. I'm going to engage them in combat because we have shit that needs to be done. This is how we get shit done. Okay? We're not protesting anymore. We're fighting. You understand? Like, I need for you to stop with the signs. And I need for you to get shields and swords of the pew-pew kind. Like, I need for you to wake the f*** up. We're at war. It's wartime. It's time to go to war. You know how your military father or your military friends were always telling you freedom isn't free? Like, you're about to find out. Like, you're about to get it. So figure it out. Stop protesting. It's fight time. Okay? I'll see you there.
Hi, you know, ICE agents have children too. Most of them have children too. And it's not as hard as you think to figure out who they are, where they go to school, their names. It's not hard at all.
What's interesting, conservatives are always going on and on about how we need a right to bear arms in case we have to revolt against a tyrannical government. Well, I think it's time we finally put that to the test. We might have to actually use the Second Amendment here and make sure this government works for us and take back the government for the people. We can rewrite our country. We have the Second Amendment for a reason, and it's time for leftists across America to get organized.
You want to shoot me? You want to shoot me? Shoot me! Go ahead! Shoot me! Pepper spray me! Hurt me! Shame on you! I'm your grandmother!
Yeah, she's out there trying to get people to kill her so she can play victim. It's like a video game. You unlock a new character. But I noticed this clip, because I'm only showing you some of these, because I do the whole show if I showed them all to you. Just the ones I've run into. This is a known Chi-Com, pro-Chinese government influencer from Communist China, calling on Americans to start a civil war by building a database of homes displaying American flags, labeling those residents as the real enemy, which the Democrat Party has said in their different drills, and the Weather Underground and others, that flags actually are creating databases. He says that's the places to raid during the Civil War to get the guns, and those are the people to take out. He tells Americans that homes with American flags would be the best places to procure weapons. And Communist China helped fund the production of one battle after another that shows just this: kill anybody with American flag and Civil War. Think about that. Absolutely amazing. Here he is.
If you have an American flag in front of your house, swipe away. Do not watch this video. Okay, there's about 10% Americans want the revolution. It's too early, but it's not too early to prepare for the revolution. Let me share with you a business plan to prepare for the revolution. Right now, it's 2026. If some households still have an American flag in front of their house, that means those people are supporting the American system. They are your enemy, and they will be your enemy when the revolution starts. Before you eat the rich, you need more resources and weapons. Where to get all these resources and weapons, get it from those households who got American flag in from their house. Okay, so you guys also need to have a community set up a website and ask all your members to take picture of every household who got American flag and upload those information to your website, address of each household. When the time comes, you guys can use this information as evidence to eat them first. Eat them, God will support you. Buddha will support you. Eat them with no regret, okay? So this is my business plan for you. When the time comes, some household, they will pay you a lot of money just to take off those information off your website.
Now, let's go back to the known Democrat Party operative who shows up all over the country. He brags about it. Paid by the NGOs. Notice he says we're going to war with the U.S. government. They hate the American flag. They hate the Constitution. They hate the Bill of Rights. They say ICE isn't legitimate. They say none of the laws are legitimate. They say two men can have a baby. They're at war with reality. They want to put men in women's sports. They want to put men in girls' locker rooms. It's all about dominating you, all about breaking your will. What did he say? He said, we're going to war with the United States government. What did the Chi-Com operative just say? Mark your neighbors. Get their guns. Take them out. This is a war. They're using Maoist tactics. The whole thing is. And you look that guy up, he's a pro-Chi-Com operative. That's how weak they think we are. And on J6, they could wave hundreds of people in the velvet ropes, high-fiving the cops once they opened the doors up. People didn't know what was happening. The feds had broken in. And they would send old ladies in jail for 2 years, no trial, for walking between velvet ropes. They knew right who they were, how to find them, how to SWAT team them. But they sure can't find any of these people that are openly calling for the murder of Trump, his family, calling for the murder, the attack on ICE children and wives. I've got clips of women saying, I live right by the guy that shot the woman, and I think you should come to his house, and here's the address. And we looked it up. It's really his address. And she thinks there's no repercussion in the world. She's just showing off. You know, her husband's at work. She's sitting around all day doing God knows what, eating bonbons. And then to her to go, get street cred with the left, she thinks it's cool. Let's play a clip of them declaring that this is about America. This is about war with America. Here it is.
People need to show up with guns to face you guys. It's time for an armed resistance against the United States of America.
Take your mask off.
This is done. We're done. You're murderers. You shot a woman in a wheelchair.
Mask off, bitch boy.
We need to come back with weapons. Go to the gun store, get a gun, learn how to use it, and face you guys man to man.
And they're still on corporate media saying she lived there. She was just in her neighborhood. No, didn't even live in the city. Came there to fight. Came there with her wife to fight. Came there to block them. Came there to get in their face. Drive. Ran into them. You've already been drugged 6 months before and almost killed. And this guy's like, she was in a wheelchair, just making up more stuff. More crap, all talking points. Here's the woman I was talking about, doxing the ICE agent, and just thinking it's so cute and so funny. Here it is.
Hi, everyone. This is a PSA. Jonathan Ross lives in my town, Chaska, Minnesota. There are 2 police squad cars sitting in front of his home. Earlier this morning, I passed just to see what kind of action was there. Saw the police officers there this morning. I did a U-turn by them, turned out, and then went to go do an errand. I came back because I wanted to ask if they were protecting him or if they're protecting the general public. And the police officers basically said, we're here to protect the community. He looked at me like I was some idiot, and, it is what it is, but I don't really believe him. I think they're protecting him. I think he's hiding out in his house. And I'd love for everyone who doesn't like him circle around in his neighborhood. I won't say exactly what road, if it's Court or if it's Drive. You can figure that out. But I will just say that the numbers look a lot like a 1 and a 1, 2, 0. I don't know. Go circle around, make him uncomfortable, everybody.
I'm just going to say this. When someone defends themselves against these ICE agents and unalives an ICE agent, the government better hope I don't end up on that jury, because I don't care what kind of evidence you have. I don't care if it's on video and there's no self-defense plea whatsoever. As far as I'm concerned, the video's AI. If I'm on that jury, that guy didn't do it. He's not guilty. I don't care. I don't care how much evidence you have. ICE is a terrorist organization who is a threat to the people of the United States of America.
I mean the illegal aliens.
Full stop.
The murderers.
They're unaliving American citizens with no due process, nothing. They are just playing judge, jury, and executioner against American citizens who have done nothing wrong. So I'm sorry, when somebody decides that they're not going to take that and they're going to defend themselves against this terrorist organization, if I end up on the jury, whoever that person is didn't do it. Like I said, I don't care what kind of evidence you have. They're not guilty.
So let's look at the mindset of some of these people again. Here's a woman who says ICE agents have children too, and it's not hard to figure out their names and where they go to school. And then play clip 5. Play clip 6 and 5.
Hi, ICE agents. Hi, ICE agents have children too. Most of them have children too. And it's not as hard as you think to figure out who they are, where they go to school, their names. It's not hard at all.
So we could go on for hours with all these different clips. But that's the psychotics we're dealing with. But the larger issue is we have the political class sitting back that lights the fuse and watches all this happen. And then we have the Trump DOJ that is run by Todd Blanche, a Democrat Party lawyer from the Southern District of New York, a known globalist operative. And it's now in the news today that Trump is pissed off at Blanche and at Bondi and is talking about removing. Yeah, Trump, there's not time to screw around like you did with Bill Barr or with Sessions and all these other candy asses or globalists. We've got to do this now. Now that we have clip 5. Listen to this lunatic.
Arrest him. Arrest him now. What are you motherfuckers so damn scared about? Go wherever that fucking slug is existing and drag his ass out, put handcuffs on him, and throw him in a fucking jail cell. What are you afraid of? For God's sakes, are you so fucking scared for your own little personal life that you're going to let the rest of the country get totally fucked over? Fuck you too. Democrats, fuck you. There's a handful in there that are actually trying to do something. The rest of you feckless, spineless pieces of shit, we're going to vote your asses out too. Shame on all you ignorant motherfuckers.
Man, aren't the liberals nice people? Aren't they sweet? No, they're demonically influenced or possessed. It runs the gambit. And I've got hours more of them if I want to, but I've got other issues to cover. Trump has greenlit going into Iran. The question is, how much will he do in support of the populist uprising? This ties into Trump's larger policies and what's happening. I get into Scott Adams, audacious creator of Dilbert comic strip, dead at 68 from cancer. And he did at the end say, yeah, it looks like the anti-vaxxers are right. I got the turbo cancer from the shot. That's all coming up. Remember, I'm supported by you. I'm not funded by George Soros or Israel or Qatar or anybody but you at thealexjonestore.com. So the products are simply amazing. They really work. They're great. The widest selection of Patriot apparel, the very best supplements, the very best methylene blue, Irish sea moss, Shilajit, bovine colostrum. It's all there. Now, today only, this is a one-day flash sale on top of all the other sales. Everything on the AlexJonesStore.com is 40% off. No discount code needed. Right at checkout, 40% comes off. Ends tonight at midnight. So you've only got a few hours to do that. You also only have 4 days left to enter to win our Ford Raptor and $10,000 cash, souped up, brand new Ford Raptor. You get put in 50X entries only for the next 4 days in that raffle sweepstakes to get that. And because it's a crossover to the next offer, you get put in as well to win the other truck next month. Every order placed today gets you 50X entries to win the Raptor, plus our brand new giveaway, a Ford F-250 diesel, $10,000 cash on top of it, $80,000 value plus. Well, the cash is $90,000. This sale ends tonight, January 13th at midnight. That is the 40% off. So there's so many sales going on there. But you got 4 days left, or 3.5 days left, to win either or both potentially of those vehicles. 50X entries happened in the last week. And it turns out most of the winners are during that period because obviously you put in 50X. Every order, you're automatically entered to win. Now, separately, these have been very popular. I found a Texas company over a year ago, and I said, I like this World War II trench knife. I want to etch them as limited edition with different messages, 2,000 at a time. We've had 5 other knives. They all sold out very quickly. This one they came up with a quote, life is fiery with its beauty, an Alex Jones quote, making a limited edition in a 1945 style Enola Gay pinup girl with InfoWars. Very, very nice. It is a 10-inch double-edged dagger, super high-quality stainless steel, razor sharp, and it's got the brass knuckles murdered out, the skull crusher. This will not fail you. This will defend you. This is, if I had to, have something on my side when I have to protect myself, my family, this would be it. This is all about business. It's the World War II trench warfare style knife. They did an update on the World War I one, and then it's just been updated with modern steel and quality, and it is just a badass solid state knife. You just cannot beat this trench knife. Basically, it's like a short sword, and it comes in this collectible case right here. Limited edition. There's only 2,000 of this limited edition. They've already sold our sponsor yesterday 800 of these. So in a couple days, this will be sold out. It also makes a great gift. And regardless, it's a fundraiser, keeps us on the air. So be part of history, have this memento, and be the reason we stay on the air. TheAlexJonesStore.com. I thank you and salute you. Hour number 2 straight ahead.
RFK Jr. shocked many when he sat down for a meal with Fox's Sean Hannity. The pair dined at fast food chain Steak and Shake, eating burgers and fries in a bid to highlight the chain's switch to frying their food in beef tallow, which is a healthier alternative to traditionally used seed oils.
I am so excited. After over a year, we have the highest quality private labeled beef tallow out there. You've heard RFK Jr. rave about it, the health effects, how good it is. This sucker is boom heavy. This is high quality. It is very competitively priced, and it funds this whole operation. It is optimal human beef tallow, grass-fed from thealexjonesstore.com. It is night and day compared to all these other fats and all these trans fats and all of the seed oils that are so toxic, especially when you heat them. Not this. It is so good. It is now available, discounted at thealexjonesstore.com.
They looked at sleep deprivation with creatine supplementation. And so they randomized people to either drink a placebo drink or drink 20 grams of creatine through the night. And they kept them awake all night, and they had them do brain puzzle quizzes. And when the subjects were getting the 20 grams of creatine, they did way better on the brain puzzles, but they also complained about being tired a lot less. And so the conclusion is creatine is somehow acutely preventing your brain from suffering during sleep deprivation. And the rationale there is, mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell, or the power plant that's producing the energy. Creatine is like the power grid, and it distributes that energy throughout the cell. And so if the purpose of sleep is to restore the energy that you used up, but then you intervene by putting creatine in there, now you can keep that energy going, and you can go more hours before you need to get rest and restore that energy because you've increased your capacity to distribute it.
That makes sense. Used to be, people only thought of creatine as being a muscle thing. To help you recover. But then over the last year or two, I started talking about cognitive function.
There is some literature on traumatic brain injury where 20 grams of creatine for 6 months doubles the rate of healing.
Whoa. That's incredible.
But it's, just creatine, I called it more than a performance enhancer because if you just look at where it's distributed in the body, almost every cell and every tissue has the creatine system. And if you look at the literature, they'll say, well, it's more important in certain cells, like it's really important in your muscles because your muscles have this very polarized, sometimes they're at rest, sometimes their energy demand is going through the roof. And it's really important in long cells. So for example, your retina is part of your central nervous system, and it's this really long cell that's coming from the brain into the eye, and creatine helps move energy back and forth. But if you just look at instead of where is it most important, you just where is it? It's like almost every cell in your body has creatine, and it's helping distribute the energy that the mitochondria make throughout your whole body, and that includes pumping stomach acid, it includes sperm swimming up the vaginal canal. And so if you just look at where it is, you would think that creatine would help a lot more than muscles. And I think creatine is really important because it's not in the mitochondria so much as it carries forth the mitochondrial energy of the rest of the cell, but that also feeds back in the repair functions for the mitochondria. And so I think optimizing your creatine status is super important. And I think that everyone who's not eating 1 or 2 pounds of meat per day should probably be taking creatine.
All right. I want to finish up on coverage right now of the Democrats trying to trigger a civil war. I want to come back, shift gears to all the other news, and I want to give out the toll-free number to cover any subject you want. But specifically, obviously, I want to get into Trump green-lighting going into Iran to back the opposition. Bunch of news I haven't gotten to yet, all the things happening in Minnesota and so much more. So I'll give the number out right when we start the next segment. Then we have one of the most outspoken victims of Jeffrey Epstein, documented victim, joining us in the third hour to give her take on all the latest developments, the Clintons refusing to testify to Congress, and more. Then we'll continue with calls and news and analysis into the fourth hour today, ahead of the War Room with Harrison Smith, 3 p.m. Central. But here is Republican Congressman Byron Donalds nukes Governor Tim Walz during House testimony about ICE agents in Minnesota.
Is it the responsibility of ICE to actually deport illegal aliens in the United States who are here? Isn't that their responsibility?
Yes, it is, Congressman, except that the Constitution is not an inconvenience. It's not an either-or.
Nobody said an inconvenience. You have a responsibility to deport illegal aliens, and the president is going through that process right now. And let's be very clear, the previous administration, they abused every process there is under border laws to allow more than 10 million people into the country illegally. And this is a burden on all Americans. And so the president is doing his job. So it is sick to refer to Americans who are ICE agents as Gestapo. Governor, you're wrong. You need to apologize to these agents. They're doing their jobs. They are Americans. They serve this country with honor and decency and respect. Do not diminish their work simply because you tried to make a cheap point that you could tweet. I yield back.
Now, back at the time, last year, I made a big deal about the Democrats saying we want to get people killed in ICE raids. That's their plan. Now it's finally hitting Fox News, thank God. Here's the clip of that.
Axios story that made my jaw drop a couple of months ago, and it's sort of come back online on the Twitter world. And this is what they wrote. They talked to Democrats who were talking to their constituents, and they were telling them to get shot for the anti-Trump resistance. This is what one of those Democrats, House Democrats, told Axios. Some of them have suggested what we really need to do is be willing to get shot when visiting ICE facilities or federal agencies. And then goes on to say our own base is telling us that what we're doing is not enough. There needs to be blood to grab the attention of the press and the public. That's coming from House Democrats. That's what they're hearing from their constituents.
I'm glad you brought this up, Aisha, because this is what they want to happen. They want confrontation, they want conflict, and they want to create situations where awful things like this could happen. Again, my argument here would be just what you said. If you want to protest ICE, if you want to march down the streets and you want to say this shouldn't be happening here, go vote in 2026, go vote in 2028. We had an election in 2024. President Trump ran on just this, and he won the popular vote. He won every swing state, all 7 of them. The American public said, we want President Trump to do this. We want Tom Homan, Kristi Noem. Okay, if you disagree, go out and advocate against it. But do not create these situations where you are making it more dangerous for everyone. Why in the world would you be showing up at the sites of ICE investigations and ICE arrests and trying to create these situations? I think it's unfortunate. They want people to get shot. They wanted Renee Good to get shot. They want more people to get shot. They're trying to put ICE agents in a perspective where they fear for their lives and they feel like they need to act out here. There are not going to be any criminal charges against this ICE agent. There shouldn't be, but they want more of these situations because they want to catch an ICE agent doing something improper so that they can argue that all this should be shut down. That's their goal, clearly.
Well, they certainly think they have the momentum to be able to come back to the Hill and threaten to now shut down the government again to try to reform the Department of Homeland Security. I don't know how that's going to go.
All right, even before Trump won re-election, hard to believe 14 months ago, just in 7 days, it'll be 1 year he's been in office, sworn in. The Podesta plan, Carville, all of their top people were on the shows. We played the clips many times. So many times listeners said, why does he keep covering? I said, because nobody else is. They're out there telling their people, Homan and the National Guard are going to come in and they're going to kill migrants and kill black people. And I was like, how do you know the National Guard's going to be called out? Because they were going to get violent and block them. And you had all these mayors and governors say, we're going to fight them. And then they said, we need blood. We need them to get killed. We need illegals to get killed. We need citizens to get killed. And I showed you their speeches and them saying it. And then last July, Axios runs a headline meeting with top Democrats saying, we need constituents to go out and get aggressive and get in ISIS's face and bump their cars and do all this and hope something bad happens and try to provocateur the general public to actually kill them so that when they defend themselves, we can call them Hitler. And now the Democrats are talking about another government shutdown. The excuse this time is to defund DHS or defund the Border Patrol because, quote, they're criminals. So we've been harping on this a long, long, long time. There's Axios. Democrats told to get shot for anti-Trump resistance. And so here we are. The good news is the truth's getting out. But even Trump on Air Force One yesterday was talking about the shooting of Ms. Good. And he goes, well, you've seen the footage shot by the ICE agent. You see the car hit him. You hear the crunch. It's pretty clear he got hit. He doesn't know there's footage from the side and the front showing him bouncing off the hood and her hitting him. Because I've not even seen it on Fox, folks. Maybe you've seen it, I've missed it, I've watched a lot. But MSNBC's like, look, clearly he's standing at the side of the car. They show a totally different agent. That footage of him bouncing off the hood of the car has been out since the day she died. And still, it hasn't been given to Trump. Still, the key, like, here's the total exoneration to shut this down, has not been put up. I put it out. Tim Pool put it out. Benny Johnson put it out. We all did that day. But not everybody's on X or Rumble. And so they can sit there and they can lie all day long. Democrats are being told to get shot for the anti-Trump resistance. And finally, it's on Fox News talking about that 7 months later. Good. Meanwhile, ICE Watch training 4,000 activists in violent anti-ICE enforcement tactics. Telling them they're illegal, they're criminals. The police chief saying, we're going to arrest them. They're going to jail. Get out there. Use your Second Amendment. Get guns. And it's all a talking point. Whether it's Don Lemon months ago, or whether it's the mayors or the Capitol J6 leftist police spokespersons saying this is criminal, they're Gestapo, get your guns. You have a right under the Second Amendment to get guns, and you know, do what? The Second Amendment isn't you have a right to just randomly say you can go kill somebody. But notice the left suddenly loves the Second Amendment because they're saying it's a communist green light to do whatever they want. They got all the churches around the country captured by the left doing all their fake ICE raid drills and how to act like victims. This is about breaking the back of the very sovereignty of our nation. So, ahead of a Jeffrey Epstein survivor to give her take on everything that's unfolding, joining us in the next hour, I want to open the phones up right now and take 10 calls or so. I don't want to get more than that because I don't want to keep you on hold. And after she leaves us, I'll open the phones up again in the fourth hour, interspersed with all the other news, breaking information. So I'll give you the toll-free number here on this Tuesday transmission. The number is, what I'm going to do first-time callers, by the way. Only first-time callers want to get, or let's say this. If you haven't been on the show in a year, because I want to give the new listeners, a lot of folks have speed dial. We love you, but come on. That's why half the time it's anybody can call. The other half it's first-time callers. Or let's just say if you haven't gotten on the show in a year or longer, I'd love to hear from you because I want to give other people a chance. 877-789-2539, 877-789-ALEX, 877-789-2539. And if you are an ICE agent or the wife or husband of an ICE agent, you also let me know. You'll go to the headline. And if you disagree, and it's legitimate, you know the headline. 877-789-2539, 877-789-2539. And I noticed the left over the years even had news articles saying, my show's fake, it's all staged, the calls are fake. Well, just call on yourself and get on the air and see how fake it is. This broadcast is so damn real, it's crazy. I'm 100% authentic. I mean, I don't even know how to be. The only thing I can be is authentic. I mean, when you're authentic, you're authentic. Like I've always said, you don't have integrity, you are integrity. And that's simple. You stand for stuff. And I've never even had to make a decision in my life to stand for what's right. My brain don't even work when it comes to corruption. It doesn't even operate like that. Oh, I know all about corruption better than they know. That's what's paradoxical about it. I got their number, I got their ass, but I just don't swim in their waters. I'm like in the world, but not of it. You know what I mean? Just like you. But they're just so upset that we're not for sale, folks, because we already sold out to God. Thank God. Yeah, I was sold out before I was put in my mother's womb. God knew me and knew you before you were in your mother's womb. It is predestination. But God already knew the decision you make. You did have free will. God just knew the decision you were going to make already. It's a paradox. Everything's a paradigm shift. Toll-free number, 877-789-2539. Here's Trump's statement to everybody in Minnesota. It really is true. Do the people of Minnesota really want to live in a community in which there are thousands of already convicted murderers, drug dealers and addicts, rapists and violent, released and escaped prisoners, dangerous people from foreign mental institutions and insane asylums, and other deadly criminals, too dangerous to even mention? All the patriots of ICE want to do is remove them from your neighborhood and send them back to the prisons and mental institutions from which they came, which most of them were dumped out. Most in foreign countries who illegally entered the U.S. through Sleepy Joe Biden's horrible open borders policy. Why I say Sleepy Joe was premeditated Joe. Every place we go, crime comes down. It is plunging. In Chicago, despite a weak and incompetent governor and mayor fighting us all the way, a big improvement was made. Thousands of criminals were removed. Minnesota Democrats love the unrest the anarchists and professional agitators are causing because it gets them spotlight off the $19 billion. See, it's 24 billion, folks. That was stolen by really bad and deranged people. Fear not, great people of Minnesota. The day of reckoning and retribution is coming. Well, they are firing the U.S. attorneys that have been blocking the cases, so that is a positive first move. But look at these deceptive headlines. Tensions flare in Minnesota as protesters and federal agents repeatedly square off. I could play you 100 videos right now, conservatively, where they're shooting high-powered fireworks at them, throwing bottles at them, knocking their windows out. Journalists, local police are being attacked, breaking into hotels, spitting on the front desk people just because they heard ICE might be here, dehumanizing everyone. They are attacking. But it's always, ICE and the demonstrators got in a fight. No. If you're in a restaurant eating dinner, and I walk up to you and your wife eating dinner, hypothetically, and I just slap her across the face full power, should the newspaper headline say Alex Jones walks into restaurant, randomly assaults woman? Or should it say woman and Alex Jones get in fight? No, it'd be Alex Jones assaults woman. But every time we get attacked on the left, it's like, we got in a fight. No. They got court orders to go get child molesters and bank robbers and you name it. That's what they're mainly getting. And then they're just met with screaming, howling lunatic mobs that are on the Democrat payroll, attacking them, hitting them in the head with water bottles, everything else, shooting at them, you name it. And then they get to be told, you're illegitimate, you're a criminal, this is all illegal. Which they first did in their court cases, and all got overturned. It's just such a hoax. And then again, I got Nick Fuentes back from a vacation on Thursday. And I think Nick's really smart. I agree with a lot of what he says. Some of it I don't. But the point is that compared to the left that's totally anti-Christian, anti-white, he's not radical. What do you expect to come out of those attacks? But I've been telling him last year, I said, let Trump gear up enforcement. Let Trump make his moves. It will be America first. He was like, I don't believe it. It's bullshit. Now he's like, whoa, I'm seeing it. Yeah, he's getting more positive, you see. Because you really can't deny it, that the proof's in the pudding. But if you don't control your borders, if you don't have sovereignty, you have nothing. And the idea that we can't deport people that are here illegally is just preposterous. And again, when Obama was in, he had 4 times the deportations that Trump ever has per year. But he had the infrastructure, and it was just known you do this. And then Biden gets in. It's the 3rd administration of Obama, and they just say, give us all your mentally ill, give us all your criminals. And they just disgorge this army on us, and you've seen what's happened. And I said early on when he was president-elect, I said I would target people with big rap sheets first. I don't think the lady, that runs a taco truck should be deported. And the super right wing went, oh, you're not going far enough to port them all. Just come on. The point is that there's the hardened criminals is who we should get first. And Trump's been criticized. Fuentes like, oh, he hadn't done enough. Now Fuentes has to admit Trump is scaled up. He's accelerating. And you really can't even criticize it. So But while we're all focused on the uprising, what happens if the Supreme Court tries to strike down Trump's tariff deal? It will be a disaster. We're screwed, as Trump said. That's coming up. Right now, let's go to phone calls. Speaking of Nick, let's go to Nick in Illinois. Nick, you're on the air. Welcome.
How's it going, Mr. Jones?
Good, sir. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say I really think that Trump needs to crack down on the left hard. This is getting out of control. They're becoming more emboldened with this weak action. And if he doesn't invoke the Insurrection Act, I think I'm going to get upset. Because
I said that last night. I said, listen. It's been invoked by, 6 presidents? The last time was in, 1990 with the L.A. riots. 100%. They're not just attacking people and killing them. They're saying we're going to overthrow the government. The government's illegitimate. We're at war with the federal government. Trump needs to go ahead and do it. Go ahead.
And I'm really upset when you see all these videos you're sharing too of these people calling for violence, that it's allowed on these platforms. They'll silence voices like Nick Fuentes, and then they allow this open call for violence on their platforms. It's, us on the right, we are demonized for being called fascists and Nazis, but we're never the kind of people that call for violence. We want peace for our families, and to see this is really making me upset because it's like you see how nasty these people are, and we got. Well,
let's be clear. A bunch of them are known Democrat Party operatives, professionally lying, professionally saying, here's where they live, go kill them. They're Nazis, with mayors and governors saying they're criminals, we're going to arrest them. That whole backdrop is designed to get lunatics to kill people.
Yeah, and and I really think too, and you've seen a rise on the far right, and I can't thank you more than enough because I used to be a Democrat, and listening to you with my brother back in when the Summer of Love and COVID happened, it really woke me up. So I just want to thank you. I just started buying the Methylene Blue. It's kick-ass. I encourage everyone to go check it out. And, Trump's just really got to crack down because the inaction is emboldening the left, and it's driving people like even me. I'm becoming more far right now. I used to be on the left, but just seeing how crazy these people are, it's like, you guys are pushing me to not like you. I just want
Well, at the same time, we see Trump is about to ban over 10% interest rates. He's banning big banks and brokerage firms buying up single-family homes. He got rid of tax on tips. Democrats are now stealing the money at the state level and keeping it themselves. I mean, it's just like, if you want a populist, he's not even a conservative, folks. He is literally Mr. Populist. I mean, he is literally Americana. And trouble.
I think a lot of us were frustrated, too, with his first year because there's a lot of focus on foreign policy. But he was left a total shit show. Oh, sorry, my language. But,
well, that's right. If you're going to be a true isolationist, which I am, an America Firster, you still have to project power. And then by isolationist, it's all about your America First. That's just the way it works. But you still then have to use the power you've got to secure all that to even get the resources to build it here. No, Trump on foreign policy has done like a 110%. I mean, it's just spectacular. On control of the Justice Department, I give him an F-. And he knows that too. He's just absolute trash. But DHS is newer. I was very paranoid of DHS. It was set up to do bad things, but Trump has commandeered it, and since it's got new people and actually they follow the mission, it's doing a superlative job right now.
Well, I just want to thank you for taking my call. I'm a first-time caller. I just want to see Trump start focusing more a little here on home because the left is out of control. I totally understand why people were frustrated, and some of us in my family, we're all listeners. We love you, Alex. We think you're a true warrior, and we really appreciate you. And we just want to see him start cracking down on the left.
I know, but you have to understand. Look, I'm sure. Have you ever had 10 people under you?
What's that?
Have you ever had 10 people that work for you?
Yes, sir. My family has owned bakeries for 100 years, right south of Chicago.
Well, I mean, I wasn't doubting it. What I'm saying is, then you know how hard it is to manage people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, he's got 4 million employees.
That's why I would get frustrated last year, and I'd take the MAGA hat off, but I got it on right back now because I really want to support him. I want to see this country do amazing, so my children have something for their future.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's it. It's not even a lesser of two evils. Is the Democrats are sworn to destroy us. Trump, imperfect, is doing everything he can. That's why we call out the stuff he does that's wrong. We back the good stuff. But at the end of the day, folks, I tell people, like, you get boosted by big tech if you attack Trump for no reason. So other people just attack him all day because they get higher numbers. We don't care about those numbers. They already have the Democrats under control. We want to go after Trump on real issues, support the good stuff. That's the key. Thanks for the call. Let's go to Mark in Arizona. Mark, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex. How are you today?
I'm all right.
I'm calling today about, I agree with the last caller that the Trump Justice Department has to do something with all these people just getting online and making these threats. They really need to be visited by
not just visited.
agents.
They're making specific terrorist calls to organize and kill a class of people, federal agents. Folks, I've had lawyers on, I know, back and forth. If you or I did that, we would be arrested so fast. We should be. This is terrorism. This is organizing criminal terrorist uprisings. And there you go. So, sorry, go ahead.
The other side, they need to be visited. The other side of this, too,
they need to fall down the stairs. They need to fall down the stairs, but go ahead.
Absolutely.
We've kind of passed that point now where,
Obama had repealed the Smith-Mundt Act, which stopped allowed the American people to be propagandized. And for me personally, I believe that is what sparked a lot of what's going on now.
Oh, it's not your opinion. They got rid of the Smith-Mundt Act to engage in domestic propaganda. Then Obama put the funding in when he left office as a stay-behind sleeper cell against Trump. $2 billion was the seed money for the Countering Foreign Disinformation Propaganda Act. You're dead on. That's what we're facing right now.
That is, and I believe Trump should bring some sort of act back to stop that propaganda on the American people. It's a travesty that it ever happened.
Well, absolutely. Look, the executive orders are on the books from the Cold War that he can tell ABC News what to do. They haven't read him in on that, which I don't think he should do that. He should get rid of it. They still have the executive orders in place. That's how Obama and Hillary and that consortium still tells the corporate media, the late night comics, the scripts are all written by them. That's what they're still following the old orders. Trump left the old shadow COG continuity government system in because they didn't fully read him in. He's partially read in. He's been cutting funding to it, but he has to get rid of the executive orders. He has to override it because there's still a parallel government running on the side. You understand?
Yes, I do. And it's just amazing that there's a group of people in the United States that have such a twisted view on the reality that's going on in our country. It's a shame to see that.
Well, I mean, let's be clear. Over $2 trillion stolen through the NGOs and the agencies. So you have to understand, even low-level people are making millions a year, bro. So their treason pays.
Well, they should be investigating these NGOs and who's paying these protesters. And that would be a great place to cut off the.
And we know it's Bill Gates' foundation is the main one, along with the Tides and Soros. We know.
Well, I believe if they stop paying testers and they cut that money off, that would alleviate a lot of the issue that's going on. The paid protester thing is gotten out of control.
Yeah, they've caught him red-handed there too. I mean, I just want to know this: why is Fauci and Bill Gates still walking around? Like, I'm not saying any violence against them. I'm asking, just in general, why are they still walking around? Okay.
You taking my call, and I'm a long-time listener, and I love you, man.
Love you too, brother. I'm still on my post, fighting to the end. Give me everything I got, folks. I really appreciate you. I know you are as well. But know this, we're the real McCoy. Stay with us. I didn't plug last hour because I've been so focused on the news. If I don't plug, we won't be here because I'm not funded by the Qataris or the Israelis or the Russians or the Jews or the Easter bunnies. I am funded by you. So I'm going to sell you products that really work so you want them. Now, we got two different flavors, Fruit Punch and in Freedom Mango. I didn't name this. It looks like a firecracker. It's a beautiful cover. Ultimate power. How about unlimited power and Republican? But it really is a pre-workout, post-workout, Turbo Force 2.0. I mean, this is seriously powerful, super high quality. Everything it does for your body is next level. Ignites mental clarity and focus, cleans, sustain energy, enhance blood flow and endurance, supports daily cognitive function. L-citrulline converts to L-arginine. Don't know what that does. We got the best formula of it. It's amazing. L-theanine, relax, wake up, clarity and focus. Natural caffeine from coffee concentrated. Vitamin B12, highest quality, B6, and more. This is really strong. If you love Turbo Force, you're going to love Ultimate Power. We should call it Unlimited Power. I remember Palpatine on the cover. The point is that it funds the operation. I said, hey, we need a clone of this product or make it better for their store. And they said, okay, this is what they came out with. I've been on them for a year to do this. It's really strong. Tiny little scoop. This thing, by the way, is heavy. This is like a whole bunch of servings, like a couple months worth. So get yours now. I like the Fruit Punch flavor. And by the way, today's one of the last days where you can get 60% off on Ultramethylene Blue, Irish Sea Moss, Shilajit, and more at thealexjonesstore.com. Thanks for your support. Hour number 4 is straight ahead. Well, my voice may be weak, but my spirit has never been stronger. Thank you for joining us on this live Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 transmission. Wild horses couldn't drag me away. We're taking your phone calls. We have Juliette Bryant, a very well-known documented victim of Jeffrey Epstein's operations. I wanted to get her on with just all that's happened in the last few months, and that was the biggest thing ever and was going to implicate Trump, but it didn't. Now the Clintons don't want to testify before Congress. We'll spend an hour with her and then go back to your phone calls and all the other issues that I've got ready to cover after that. But the big front and center issues are Trump, when he says something that he has control of, he does it. He says, we're going to back the Iranian opposition. The help's on its way. So what is that going to look like? Some type of action? What do you think it's going to be? We've also got all these other big developments happening. The economy I'm going to be getting to. A lot of really exciting things Trump's doing, capping interest rates on credit cards at 10%. People say, that's meddling in the market. Until the Clintons, they had caps on it under federal law. They brought back loan sharking, folks. Some people are paying like 25% compounding on credit cards. What a scam, folks. So we'll get to that as well. It's all coming up. Let's go back to your calls. Mike in Arizona. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Good, brother.
Hey, my biggest issue or question deals with closure. Whether we're talking about the fraud and the abuse or some of these investigations, nothing ever seems to come to closure. When you look at just the target-rich environment that the DOJ has right now and the FBI, and nothing's getting done. You have all the Doge exposed.
Doge? You mean Doge?
And even in the Somali activities in Minnesota, everything just is all open out there, and it never seems like any closure. Is this a new phenomenon, or has this been going on forever?
Well, that's a really complex question. Obviously, there's more people, there's more money, there's more businesses, so things are more complex and more prevalent now because there's more people. Big-time corruption's always been protected to a certain extent, not just here, but around the world in history, until real-time revolution and reform comes. Sometimes those revolutions are good, sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're a mix. But there have been actually over 500 Somalis indicted just the last 2 years. It's been going on, building to a head. A couple hundred Minnesota convicted alone. You've had a bunch of judges turn them loose when they're convicted. They're just kind of bagmen for the Democrats. So I don't want to even single out Somalis, though they're a corrupt group they use. It's kind of the front group. A lot of this is about 85% of lawyers in America are Democrats. That's because they fund all of it. The ambulance chasing all of it. In government, most, even your Republicans, are really Democrat lawyers. And so it's just kind of who they are. And so a lot of times the Republicans are running theft as well. Though, like I always said, Republicans steal about 10% of what Democrats do. Most Republicans aren't involved, but some of the leadership is. And Doge found about 92% of the fraud was Democrats, so 8% was Republican. Well, those are key Republicans, like Lindsey Graham, that are getting the money out of the NGOs. So they don't want it to come out because it'll bring the whole system down. So that's why Trump wants it. But then they'll get the indictments, and then the indictments get dropped later because the judges are corrupt, the lawyers are corrupt, the swamp is deep. And so where Trump does have control on foreign policy or on the border or on jobs, he's dominating there because his executive power allows him to implement. And his trade deal's been a success so far. Prices are starting to go down. Inflation is slowing. Mass investment has happened. Will the Supreme Court create a constitutional crisis and try to block that? That's the question. It's about to happen. Trump says we're screwed, close quote, if Supreme Court overturns his tariffs. So you have to know how government works, know the power of the president, know the other factions, and ask, is Trump doing the best job he could? And yes, could he do this better or that better? It's easy to Monday morning quarterback. He is night and day compared to the Democrats. So that's where, again, I try to spotlight bad stuff, try to get him back on track where it's wrong, and I actually see a big effect, not just by myself, but others. And but overall, I'm just very, very thankful for what we're having happen. So I know it's easy to get frustrated and want instant gratification. Believe me, I'd like to see that as well. But compared to where we were 10 years ago, the world is so awake now compared to 10 years ago. So the ball's in our court. We have the initiative. History's on our side. The tide has turned.
Hey, thanks a lot, Alex. Thank you.
Thank you. But that doesn't mean we're all white-pilled and just sit around and eat popcorn with our thumbs up our patoots. But we can't just get all, oh, God. I mean, look what Kennedy's done alone. Tulsi Gabbard. She released 7 months ago, total proof Obama ran Crossfire Hurricane, ran the Steele dossier, knew Trump was innocent, tried to overthrow the election, total treason. She said he should be indicted, they should all be indicted, nothing happened. She did her job. And they've been targeting her. The point is, you've got night and day when it comes to balls. I mean, this administration is 20 times better than the last one. And still, that was way better than Hillary. And we got better Supreme Court justices than what we would have had. See what I mean? It's like, I mean, and that's the way God works. If Trump would have been allowed to win and they had to steal it, would people have awoken as much as they did? No. The Lord works in mysterious ways. That doesn't mean we didn't fight the election fraud. That doesn't mean we don't expose it. We do our job. God wants us to follow through and do what's right. He'll make the final decisions. It's that simple. Nick in Minnesota, thanks for calling. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex, I agree with you 100%. The Lord does indeed work in mysterious ways. I woke up to you watching your police state videos, and sometimes I'm in Minnesota right now in the heart of the beast, and the belly, I should say, but I see it. They came after me January 6th and said that I was an insurrectionist and that I was a violent person and that I did all these things, but I went to the Capitol to pray. Me and my brother, we prayed. That's all we did. And cops pushed us, tried to push us down a flight of stairs, and we just stood our ground. We just said nothing violent to these police officers. We did nothing. We were there to pray. We loved on them. We prayed for them. And they came after us for that. And then the polar opposite, now you have these people just violently, that man sitting there threatening violence towards these police officers. I hope they have his face and facial recognition and go after him like they did us. And they just show up to his job someday and pull him away from whatever he's doing, because this is out of control. And I never thought I'd say this, but I do think that they need to implement the Insurrection Act. When I was woke, I was prepping for martial law. I thought I was going to be the one they were coming after back in the day. And now God has totally flipped the script. It's Haman's gallows. It's the cross. If the enemy took the bait, and now we need to move. Though God's moving. We need to hold these people accountable, and we need to start seeing some action, some justice. But we need to trust that God's got this. Everyone, we just need to. He's got this. As on earth, He's got this. So.
Yeah, well, it's a paradox, though. We have to fight. We have to ask God for help. We have to do the best job we can, and then God will carry us through with his plan.
Yes, I agree. We got to take action. We got to, prayer for one, but we need to be, we need to have a voice. That's
well, here's the deal. This is what God's told me. You think you can fight the enemy. You think it's up to you. You put the weight on your shoulders. You're killing yourself. This is about 10 years ago. God literally told me this over and over again. Like I literally almost like hear the voice, like stop fretting, stop freaking out, stop being so stressed. You just do the best job you can, have trust in me, and I'll carry it the rest of the way. And that's the attitude. You fight as hard as you can, but you don't worry about the outcome because you know God is in charge. God wants us to go 100%, and then he will carry us the rest of the way. Does that make sense? We can't try to quarterback it. We can't be the coach. We can't, try to know the master plan. We just do what's right, follow God's directives, follow God's will, follow the Holy Spirit, we win. Thanks for the call. Gabriel in West Virginia, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello, Alex. I'm just needing to voice into the air how disturbed I am at some of what the news you just delivered today. In terms of what they're doing to my son, the father in me, it's hard for me to express that and how anybody could get away with that or do that in any way, shape, or form to an innocent, to a child. And so I just wanted to put that out there, how much I feel strongly that that's wrong. And I'm wondering what we could do about it. Are there laws on the books? Are we able to move forward collectively to follow the letter of the law?
Yeah, let me apologize to you because I'm listening to you, Gabriel. What about a child? What's...
The news you delivered about Elon Musk's son and them wanting to go and do whatever, and how they could know that he's a feminine at this age. Like I'm just really disturbed at it. I just felt like I needed to mention it. So, it's so hard for me to sit back and hear this and not really know what to do. And I had called and asked you before what we can do, how we can rally. Do we follow the letter of the law? The same thing that Fauci hides behind in terms of what we do collectively. I'm just really wondering what I do at this point. I've had enough. I can't have an uprising. I can't form a militia without them coming after me. I can't say that I love my country. And the other thing, too, and I just need to say, I'm a mail carrier, and when I see a ratty flag in front of someone's house, I offer to go change it. I talk to them about it. This is America. This is freedom. This is the land of resources and love, blessed by God, right? And I know I'm ranting there a little bit, but what do we do? Like, how do we move forward as people? And the other thing, too, I'm wondering is, where do we go in America? Is it Texas? Is it West Virginia? Is it Idaho? Where are like-minded people rallying to go to form communities for this next part? Because what's going to happen in this next part? Are we fools? Do we not see it happening? Do we not see people that are allowed to get away with the most outlandish, ridiculous things to break the law? People are breaking the law. Nothing's being done about it. And we have to use the letter of the law to move forward with grace and compassion to be able to fight back. So, I just really needed to say that to you, Alex, because there's a hurt in my Scottish soul, and I feel like I want to lash out, but if I do, I risk my family, I risk my daughter, I risk my livelihood. And for all those that are wanting to say, you come put my address on your website in terms of where my flag is hanging, and we can take it from there, right? It's a strange mixture of anger, disgust, not knowing what to do, not knowing where to aim my masculinity, seeing the feminization everywhere I look in the magazines, on TV. It's potent. All these satanic...
No, I hear you. So let me. You said a lot there, so I don't know which of the 15 statements or questions I'm going to answer. Oh, I appreciate your call. Militias are constitutional. But you go set one up, the general public doesn't know that yet. They'll send feds in to try to provocateur. I mean, there was so many questions and statements, it's impossible to respond. I think you made your points. The Democrats are trying to start a fight because they're politically losing. We are intellectually winning through facts. So they want violence because they're losing. I understand you're frustrated and see all the things they're doing and saying, well, I'm ready for war with them. But that's what they're trying to induct you into and prod you into. So that's really what you have to do, is you have to get people to understand the big picture of the manipulation that's happening. And don't feel like it's your job militarily to, lead some fight that's going to save us from these people. Grassroots, even people that work for the system, they're just brainwashed. We're in an intellectual, spiritual war. That's 95% of it is info war. If we go to the physical, it means we failed up to that point. And if we go to the physical, we'll end up winning that. But they're going to release viruses. They're going to knock the power out. It's going to get really nasty, folks. And then we'll have to do it because it's going to be a communist takeover. And then we're going to find out who wants to really fight. It's not going to be fun. And the fighting will be the fun parts. But the long months of no energy or no water, or your family dying from an infection and no penicillin and, just the, who knows, the nuclear fallout and just all that goes with it. It's like really a bad place to go. So, but know this, what the left has been setting up, what they've been pushing, what they've been supporting is such a nightmare. And you look at them not having any care in the world, undermining common sense, doing all that, it's because they're disconnected from God. So you get frustrated and say they got to be stopped. Yeah, but first you've got to get the people that aren't evil aware of why they're bad. So the left's talking about violence because they're losing. We need to be talking about how we educate people, how we inform young people. That's why they killed Charlie Kirk. The Democrats said we're going to kill him. They celebrated his death. Then they made a cottage industry out of having the influencers you could trust that were patriots say it was TPUSA with no evidence, because that's all they could do. You got to just look back and see the facts, folks. Adam in Oregon, you're on the air. Welcome.
Yeah, hey, thank you. I agree with you. It will be hell on earth if the left gets their way and drags us into some sort of new fight or war, civil war, something like that. Hey, my question for you is, I agree with you. I think Trump's doing a great job, and I don't want to be a Monday, quarterback, and he's a hell of a lot better than anything Harris would be given to us. But I think, like you've said in the past, he's a hospitality guy, and I think he still wants people to like him too much, and I don't think he's fully accepted that half the people in this country are brainwashed and are not going to like him, no matter how well he makes the economy or how much.
Well, let's just be honest. The United States is 4% of the world's population. We use, get ready for it, more than half the drugs, illegal and prescription, on Earth. We pay for 78% of all drugs on Earth. It's been set up to bomb us with drugs, bad culture. It's a miracle we can even operate anymore. And the average American is a shadow of their parents who are a shadow of their parents. And they have turned us into a bunch of demonic slugs. And so when we look at the Democrats, all crazed, demonic, out of their minds, and think, they're idiots, realize they're just a few levels down from us. And they're victims of this. Doesn't mean they're not dangerous, like a rabid dog. You can have, like Old Yeller's your sweet dog, but, gets bit by a raccoon or whatever that's got rabies. You got to put Old Yeller down. And so I look at all these leftists as Old Yeller. I don't take pleasure in it, but they are rabid. They are dangerous. They are stupid. They are out of their minds, and they're extremely dangerous. And that's just the reality of it. And yeah, they're into rhetoric. They're not into logic and facts and science and historical, information. It's all about what sounds the best. And so we are fighting invincible ignorance. And that's why you can't grovel in invincible ignorance. You can't give it a job. You can't kiss its ass. You got to wall yourself off from it, build your better civilization, and not even talk to it. Because any engagement with useful idiots only emboldens them. So, yeah, we're dealing with a lot of really insane, dumbed-down people that just want to have a war. And, they'll attack anything that's nonsensical. They'll support whatever the newest thing is. So that's basically it.
Why? Remember, you had Dr. Greer on, and he gave that list that he said Trump could do to show us this technology that you were referring to in the first hour. I say, like you said before, we're in the fourth turning. It's happening. They're pushing their new world order. I think Trump should get ahead of it, make his own new world order, follow Dr. Greer's steps, leave NATO completely, immediately sign a treaty with Russia, and let's go on the Ninth Crusade to free Western Europe again.
Absolutely. Not to take over the Middle East, but to defend Christendom. And, that's really it. You have to recognize what it is. It's all defensive. Thanks to Cole. We got Andrew, Jack, Pablo, Ryan, Joseph. I'm going to go to you. But if I don't do this, we won't be here. We have a huge sale that ends Friday. That's in 3.5 days. Where anything you purchase on the site, a ball cap, a T-shirt, a ultramethylene blue, you get entered 50 times in the sweepstakes to win not one, but two, because there's this crossover that's 1 week every 2 months, to get the Ford Raptor, but it also crosses over 50-time entry to get 50x entries to win the Raptor plus the brand new giveaway, a Ford F-250 diesel fully loaded and $10,000 cash. I'm not a sweepstakes guy. I'm on the prizes. Our sponsor is, but the listeners love it. And I love meeting the listeners when they, just last week a fella got a super turbo off-road Jeep. It's 500 horsepower. I've driven it. It's incredible. So it's just an exciting thing. It's a fun thing. But really what's amazing is keeping this broadcast on the air, the great effect it has, and getting the supplements or wearing a Patriot T-shirt, the adventures you're going to have. That's what's really exciting. And if you go to thealexjonesstore.com, we can show some B-roll. We have this limited edition World War II modern edition with the brass knuckles all blacked out, murdered out, with the skull crusher, 10-inch double-edged stainless steel blade, with the high-tech scabbard that clips right on your belt or right on your pants. And it's got a 1950s or 1940s pinup girl on the side with InfoWars. My famous quote, "Life is fiery with its beauty." Again, we've had 5 of the designs of this knife. This is the 6th. Limited edition. When I say limited edition, it's what's printed on it with laser etching. It's a fundraiser. But today, I forgot, on top of all this, today only 40% off store-wide. That means on ultramethylene blue, bovine colostrum, our turmeric formula, the Shilajit formula, the Irish sea moss, all the strongest, all the best. You have 40% off on top of the existing sales. It is crazy. So check out the widest selection of Patriot apparel, the ball caps, the T-shirts, the hoodies, all of it. But whatever you do, if there's only 2,000 of this trench knife with this design, live is fire with its beauty. And as of last night when I checked, we sold 800 of them. So I'd imagine, and I bet right now we've sold 1,200 of them. I would imagine by tomorrow this knife will be sold out. We got another 2,000 that came in that's going to have a Crusader motif on it. And then we won't get more in for, usually 3-4 months. That's all we can get out of a Texas company. But it's just a badass knife, folks. It is for total defense. It won't fail you. And if everything hits the fan, not offensively but defensively, you can get all the food, all the guns, everything you need with this. If the Iranians were trained over there, got a few soldiers with guns taking them out, I can get all the guns I ever wanted with something like this. The problem is they've not been brought up in warfare like the old-fashioned Texans were. But the point is that we're not looking for offensive war, but this you can trust. This won't fail you. To quote Conan the Barbarian's dad at the start of that film, where he says, men, women, whatever you can't trust, but this, Conan, you can trust this. I mean, that battle knife, that trench knife right there. I mean, for taking care of business, people are attacking you, whatever. There's no games there, because you're not just, depending on what you need to do, you need to punch somebody, defend yourself. You need to skull crush, need to flip it around, go in, go under. I mean, it's just, and it's stainless steel, slick blade, so it just goes in like butter. And we're not looking for trouble, but if you got to defend yourself, you want to take care of the enemy as quickly as possible, just fast strikes, and it's bye-bye. And if somebody's swinging at you, they got their own knife. It's not going to be as big as yours. And all you do is just start swinging that sucker out in front. And just, you just go for the hand that's got the knife in it, or it's got the gun in it. Oh, there goes your fingers. This is what I would have in battle. This is what I go to war with. Life's fire with its beauty. World War II trench knife. Remember, I'm supported by you. I'm not funded by George Soros or Israel or Qatar or anybody but you at thealexjonestore.com. So the products are simply amazing. They really work. They're great. The widest selection of Patriot apparel, the very best supplements, the very best methylene blue, Irish sea moss, Shilajit, bovine colostrum. It's all there. Now, today only, this is a one-day flash sale on top of all the other sales. Everything on the AlexJonesStore.com is 40% off. No discount code needed. Right at checkout, 40% comes off, ends tonight at midnight. So you've only got a few hours to do that. You also only have 4 days left to enter to win our Ford Raptor and $10,000 cash, souped up, brand new Ford Raptor. You get put in 50X entries only for the next 4 days in that raffle sweepstakes to get that. And because it's a crossover to the next offer, you get put in as well to win the other truck next month. Every order placed today gets you 50X entries to win the Raptor, plus our brand new giveaway, a Ford F-250 diesel, $10,000 cash on top of it, an $80,000 value plus. Well, the cash is $90,000. This sale ends tonight, January 13th at midnight. That is the 40% off. So there's so many sales going on there. But you got 4 days left, or 3.5 days left, to win either or both potentially of those vehicles. 50X entries happened in the last week. And it turns out most of the winners are during that period, because obviously you put in 50X. Every order, you're automatically entered to win. Now, separately, these have been very popular. I found a Texas company over a year ago, and I said, I like this World War II trench knife. I want to etch them as limited edition with different messages, 2,000 at a time. You've had 5 other knives. They all sold out very quickly. This one they came up with a quote, life is fiery with its beauty, an Alex Jones quote, making a limited edition in a 1945 style Enola Gay pinup girl with InfoWars. Very, very nice. It is a 10-inch double-edged dagger. Super high-quality stainless steel, razor sharp. And it's got the brass knuckles murdered out, the skull crusher. This will not fail you. This will defend you. This is, if I had to have something on my side, when I have to protect myself, my family, this would be it. This is all about business. It's the World War II trench warfare style knife. They did an update on the World War I one, and then it's just been updated with modern steel and quality, and it is just a badass solid state knife. You just cannot beat this trench knife. Basically, it's like a short sword, and it comes in this collectible case right here. Limited edition. There's only 2,000 of this limited edition. They've already sold, our sponsor yesterday, 800 of these. So in a couple days, this will be sold out. It also makes a great gift. And regardless, it's a fundraiser, keeps us on the air. So be part of history, have this memento, and be the reason we stay on the air. Get yours now at thealexjonestore.com. Get your battle dagger now. All right, we got a prominent Epstein survivor on the Clintons dodging investigation joining us in just a few minutes. And after she leaves us, we'll continue with phone calls. Andrew in Tennessee, you're on the air. Go ahead. Welcome.
Hey, Alex. How you doing? Thank you for taking my call.
I'm all right. Other than laryngitis, I feel great. I just got laryngitis, so thanks for putting up with me.
I want to talk to you about the intelligence agencies like the FBI, CIA, TSA. Even some of the ones we don't know about. And just want to get your take on how Trump is doing, because in my estimation, our only chance was somebody getting in there and really getting control of these agencies. We saw when Biden was in there, he hopped right in the seat, and he was a master of it. He was cracking down on parents at PTA meetings and all that nonsense. I sort of get the feeling he's getting a little bit better at it. The Somali fraud deal, it seemed like we've known about that forever, but they've somehow got it into the media, made it go viral, and I kind of think that's like has something to do with the intelligence agencies working that, and it's its closeness to the Maduro strike, sort of like a distraction, and then also I see Bongino, getting out of the FBI, and I'm wondering, is he actually out? Because he was way more valuable as like a mouthpiece, outside of the FBI. He's making more traction. Is he really out? Is this just a tactic for them to, have somebody as their mouthpiece? What is your take on how he's handling these agencies? Because it's really like his sword, right? Like one of his main weapons.
Well, Bongino, in my view, is a total joke. So, I mean, he really is. He's like really hated now. You know that, right? So he ejected out of the FBI because they were asking him to have all these fake stories that Epstein acted alone and Epstein killed himself and Epstein didn't abuse women, and so now it doesn't even really matter. It's kind of like talking about a non-issue. No, you talk about agencies. About 90% of intelligence agency work is done by private corporations. It's all been transferred out, right? So people think of these agencies like James Bond and stuff. Most of them are just stealing money. There's nothing really going on. It's not like powerful or something. Somebody cooking a brisket in their backyard has more power than the CIA. You know what I mean? It's like everybody gives magical powers to intelligence agencies and stuff. Their only magical powers was manipulation of the media back when the media had dominant control of the mind and stealing money and killing people. But see, they've lost all that power now because people don't buy their power anymore. Do you see?
Yeah, that's interesting. I just want to get a quick shout out. I've listened to you for like a decade, and I just barely started buying products. There's a lot of stuff on there I can't take because of medical reasons, but I started taking the methylene red, and immediately I lost like 10 pounds. There was something in there that I was missing. I got the trench knives. Just give you a shout out. I think those products are great.
Well, brother, I couldn't operate without you. Here's the deal. I don't want to attack Bongino, okay? And yeah, he is. It looks like, you're actually right. It looks like not only he said he left the FBI because he didn't like being part of the system, and behind the scenes he was, being asked to do things that weren't right. But then now he's leaving, and he says he's going to be the mouthpiece to tell you who's good and who's bad, and he's going to attack black pillars that are attacking Trump. Well, not everybody attacking Trump's a black pillar. Sometimes Trump's wrong. We're trying to help him. So, yeah, I think he's got a foot in both worlds, to answer your question.
Yeah, that's how I got the feeling that he was sort of, halfway in, halfway out. And they sort of made a calculation like, he was way better on the outside. I'm not saying I agreed with stuff. I listen to him occasionally, but he had a huge fan base. And
sure,
really
I don't think those fans are coming back. That's my opinion. We'll be right back. Text the call. All right, Juliette Bryant is a South African model and survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking network on the record. In 2002, at age 20, she was lured from Cape Town with promises of a modeling career and connected to Victoria's Secret. Instead, she was trafficked to Epstein's properties in New York, Paris, New Mexico, private island, Little St. James, where she endured 18 months of repeated sexual abuse, up to 3 times daily, orchestrated by Ghislaine Maxwell, the daughter of the head of the Mossad operation, who she described as running a factory of abuse. Bryant says she was isolated, threatened, forced into nude photo sessions, and omitted from Epstein's flight logs to erase her presence. A particularly disturbing incident occurred in 2004 at Epstein's Zorro Ranch, where he goes through it all. So she's been on our show before. She's been on Tucker Carlson, and she's been on Chris Tucker, some of the other programs. Bryant has spoken publicly in documentaries like House of Maxwell, media interviews, and legal filings advocating for justice and transparency. 2025, she issued a public warning, "I'm not suicidal," demanding investigation into anything were to happen to her, citing concerns over suspicious deaths among survivors. Juliette Bryant on X, Instagram, Juliette Bryant, Bryant. So I just see her stuff all the time, and you watch it and read it, and I thought we should get an update. She was on with whatever it was 6 months ago or longer, and I've been on some of the other shows. I wanted to get her take just on this whole saga, where she sees it going. It was all, oh, they're going to get Trump. Suddenly it all goes away. The Clintons just came out yesterday or 2 days ago and said they're not going to be testifying before Congress in it, and just the big picture. But also, I think as an eyewitness to all this, just to get you to elaborate on things that the public may not know or needs to know. And then separately, it's now being confirmed what I was told when I first learned about Epstein 18 years ago, that he ran a fleet of aircraft for the CIA, MI6, Mossad. That's all confirmed now. That was in the documents they released. Why would the Democrats release documents that incriminate them? It's so crazy. It's just bizarre. And now to know that Trump did suppress some of it coming out because he was asked for national security, where you think all that's going, and what you think was coming out in the future. Then we also have Giuffre, who I know you knew and talked to and everything, them trying to kill her saying she wasn't suicidal. Then a year later, she commits suicide. I mean, this is pretty brazen. This is pretty obvious. So, Juliette Bryant, we can go in so many different directions. I'd love you to just go wherever you want here today. Thanks for joining us. Again, on X at Juliette Bryant.
You know, it's your boy, the ACM Brando knows. I'm gonna see you later. Peace out.
I've thrown a lot of points. You want to start